right, everybody, we are back. Brand new Cabral Concept, brand new week here on the show. Can't wait to get into today's topic, which is really a follow-up from last week's show. Now, whether you tuned in to last week's show or not, today we're going to be talking about how to stay positive even while you're not seeing results yet. The reason why this is so important is because if we have big goals, it often takes a little bit of time in order to achieve them. And last week we spoke about too many of us, myself included, we overestimate what we can do in the short term, but yet drastically underestimate what can be done in the long term. So if we stop thinking in horizons of achieving these big goals within just a couple weeks, but instead maybe thinking about these goals over a year or 2 years, what would that do for our happiness? What would that do for our success in life, in all areas of life? Because here's the thing, even though you and I, we both want to achieve our goals faster, right? Most of us do. We're not going anywhere, hopefully, right? And so what we look at is if you have another 50 years of life, if you have another 30 years of life, well, too many of us, and I noticed this back in my early 20s and even late teens in the gym, you'd see the same people trying to get into shape month after month and year after year, and they looked exactly the same. Now, there's nothing wrong with looking exactly the same. But if your goal is to lose 50 pounds and you look exactly the same, well, you're not achieving your goals, right? And they would try to hack the system and do all these different things rather than trying to lose, as I said, that 1 to 2 pounds per week. 1 to 2 pounds per week, 1% of your body weight, so boring, right? I totally get it. If you weigh 200 pounds, you're losing 2 pounds a week, but you want to lose 30 pounds your first month. Okay, but 2 pounds per week over the course of 3 months, let's call it 12 weeks, is 36 pounds. That would make a monumental change in people's overall health if they had, of course, 30 to 40 pounds to lose. So the time is going to pass anyway, right? And so our goal, though, is to stay on track better. Now, how do we do that? How do we stay positive when it might be a 3-month, 6-month, or year or 2 year long goal, right? If you're in school for the next 2 years, how do you stay positive when you've got 2 years ahead of you? Well, it works this way. And this is why this show actually came to be, besides obviously being a part 2 to last week. And of course, if you want to tune into previous Mindset and Motivation Monday shows, just head on over to stephencabral.com/podcasts, click on Mindset and Motivation. There's a little button on the right-hand side, and you'll be able to scroll through all those Monday shows. Now, what I want to share with you, though, is we are now 2 12-week years through 2024. Now, if you've never heard about the 12-week year, I have many shows on that. I would love to be able to share those with you. So just head on over to stephencabral.com/3069. That's today's show. We'll link up previous shows in the 12-week year. But one of the reasons why the 12-week year is so important for your overall success in life, whether it be career, relationships, finances, health, body transformation, spirituality, whatever it is that you can set a big goal. That's the amazing thing. Set a huge goal, but then you are only allowed to stay focused on what can be accomplished in the next 12 weeks on your way to that big goal. That's the best part of the 12-week year. So I just like to use weight loss, not because I want the world to lose weight, but truth is, right, 2/3 of Americans are overweight, and one of the best ways to get to the healthiest version of you is just to lose a little weight. Now, we want that obviously to be body fat, visceral body fat, subcutaneous body fat, not muscle. So there are healthy ways to do that, but I digress. Let's just talk about the goal here today. If your goal is to lose, let's say, 50 pounds, big goal, right? Or 100 pounds. Let's say it's an even bigger goal, 100 pounds. That is a huge goal. So what do? Right? Can we accomplish that in 12 weeks? Probably not. Probably wouldn't be ideal for our health. So what do we need to do with the 100-pound weight loss goal? Can we accomplish it in 1 year? That's the question. Well, we've got 52 weeks in 1 year. So then you have to ask yourself, let's say that you are 280 pounds, you want to get down to 180 pounds, all right? So can you lose 100 pounds in a year? The answer is yes. How many pounds then do you need to lose per week on average? About 2. Okay, you can do that. You can safely lose 2 pounds per week. Sure, it'll be more in the beginning, no doubt about that. You may even lose 20 to 30 pounds your first month, believe it or not. That absolutely can happen, and it does happen. We see that all the time. But you need to still stick with the plan. So the plan then is 100 pounds over a year. Now, if you do it simply, it's 25 pounds then every 12 weeks, right? So then it just becomes, again, about 2 pounds per week. That's the amazing thing about the 12-week year. Don't focus on the 100. That's overwhelming. Just focus on the 25 pounds in 12 weeks, but also then you break it down to a month. So what do you need? Well, just about 8 pounds or so per month. And then what do you need per week? Just 2 pounds. So what are you really focused on? Well, now you're focused on what? 2 pounds per week. So now you took this huge goal of 100 pounds, but really you're only trying to lose 2. You're just trying to lose 2 pounds this week. And that's what you stay focused on so that you don't become overwhelmed. It's also a much better way to stay more positive, because if I'm thinking about trying to lose 100 pounds, well, that's overwhelming. But if I can only stay focused on 2 pounds and I can just take care of this week, well, next week, what do I need to do? Lose another 2 pounds. But if I just focus on 1 week at a time, if I take care of this week, next week takes care of itself, because next week becomes this week. The week after becomes this week. And so what it allows me to do is stay in a more positive mindset that I don't need to lose 100 pounds. I need to lose 2 pounds. And if I can do that, that is a huge win for my mind. And truthfully, this is really all about mindset. Because 100 pounds may seem like a lot. And yes, you're going to have to balance hormones. And yes, you're going to have to look at nutrition and exercise and your daily steps. There'll be things to do. No doubt about that. But those all come along the way with you trying to lose 2 pounds healthily and safely per week, right? And you say, oh, well, I only have 50 pounds. Great. Do you want to lose in 6 months? You can do that 2 pounds a week. But we can even just say, let's just take a year. Let's keep this simple. 1 pound a week. Small, gradual changes. Can you lose 1 pound a week? You absolutely can. So you might say, well, I want to lose it faster. If you've been struggling to lose weight or achieve any goal for years, just make it a longer goal. Just make it a year-long goal. And then break it down. But say, this is the time, right? This is the time that I'm going to achieve it, that I will not fail, that I will not give up. And I want to share with you a little way to do this. So you're going to reward yourself. You're going to give yourself little rewards every 12 weeks. You can even do it once a month if you want. Hit those 8 pounds. Great. What do you do once a month? Like, what is your once a month celebration? Because you want to celebrate progress. That's what today's show is about. Celebrating you. Celebrating sticking with it, celebrating progress, not the end goal. You don't want to wait to lose 100 pounds in order to reward your mind, right? Because here's the thing. Inside of all of us, we're big kids. Adults are big kids. We want to feel a sense of accomplishment. But there's a bigger thing to this. If you reward, and we don't have to use the word reward. I don't love the whole rewarding aspect, but celebrate, I do. Celebrating you, celebrating your progress, celebrating your persistence. Even if you fall a little short, celebrate that you are still on the journey, you're still on the path, you haven't given up, which means you're most likely going to succeed. The only people who don't succeed, I've never seen someone not succeed unless they've given up. That's it. Because there are only so many ways to fail. And once you all know all the ways to fail and you don't do those anymore, you will succeed. It's just another way of looking at it. So my goal for you is every 4 weeks or every 12 weeks, you're going to celebrate your 12-week year. You're going to celebrate your progress on the way to that big goal. You're going to keep that big 12-month wall calendar that I always talk about, but you're then also going to look at each 12-week and each 1 week segment. And the celebration is up to you, however you want to do it. I don't always choose, celebrating with food. That's not necessarily the best way to do it. It might be a mini shopping trip. You buy yourself, a nice, shirt, pair of pants, dress, whatever it might be. Every time you hit the 12-week, 4 times a year. It's not too much, right? You might choose something like that. Other people might choose to invest in, this lab test they were going to do, or nutritional supplement, or maybe a mini getaway weekend. It could be anything, but set those up as milestones and celebrate along the way. Do not wait to the end. When you wait to the end, honestly, it just takes an enormous amount of willpower, and it doesn't allow you then to give yourself the little pats on the back that you deserve, but also to build up the confidence. So now that we're 6 months in, to this year, if you've set goals for yourself for the year, New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions, whatever it might be, and you haven't achieved them yet, I want you to do this. First of all, always be gentle on yourself. We're all human. We are literally human. We are not perfect. So the goal then is to do this. It is to be honest. A lot of people don't like to be honest with themselves. They don't like to be as self-aware because it's like, well, I meant to go to the gym. I meant to lose the weight. I meant to work on my health. I meant to cut down on the alcohol. I meant to cut down on the caffeine. All of these things, I get it, right? It's fine. But if we're not honest with ourselves without judging, no judgment, then we can't, what we have to do next, which is be open to change, right? I just see too many people that they're just not honest with themselves. I'm asking them, did you do this? Did you? Well, and if it starts with well, then most likely we're coming up with excuses. And I get it. And I understand that. So the first thing is you just have to be honest. Like, are you ready to change? And you may not be. And if you're not ready to change, you can't force yourself yet. So first is the mindset. And that's a different show, a different podcast, but it has to come back to a big why. If you don't have a why, you're most likely not going to be open to making the change. All right, so find your why. If you have it, good. Now what do we need to do? Reprioritize. Because there was some reason that you weren't able to achieve the goal. And most likely, you didn't schedule it in your calendar. And so you have to, everybody's calendar is pretty busy, so you have to reprioritize. This goal is going to require some commitment, some discipline, which means that you need to put it in your schedule and really you need to work on it on a near daily basis. Once you do that, you reprioritize, we need you to recommit. For how long? Don't get overwhelmed, 12 weeks. I want you to recommit for 12 weeks. You can accomplish amazing things in those 12 weeks, especially the first 12 weeks where you are all in, the motivation is fresh. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to be honest, right? Be open to change, reprioritize, schedule it, of course. And then after that, recommit. And recommitting, not just to the goal itself, but to yourself, to you, for becoming better, for reaching your potential. Because after all, that's what it's all about. It's not about the weight loss or the body transformation, or it's the finances, the career, whatever it is. It's getting more out of life for personal enjoyment, being of service to others, and honestly, just reaching your potential. Nobody else's, but you were given this life, and what we want you to do is simply enjoy the unfolding of it. Hopefully today's show was helpful. I appreciate you, of course, for tuning in. For all the show notes, previous podcasts, anything linked to today's show, head on over to stephencabral.com/3069. And of course, share the show with anyone you believe it could serve. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.